I mean, it could be a horse in a box. And we can write robot on it. It'll still be fine if it's a fixed price and it doesn't die, regularly, and it just needs power.
We should also focus on concepts like leasing, paper part, paper process.
A lot of companies which are not existing anymore because they didn't do that step, but we will see in other companies much more robots being involved in automation.
And still, they wouldn't buy automation. They were afraid of robots would take their jobs. And of course, my first question was, well, what jobs? Because 50% of the workforce wasn't meeting after COVID. So there was actually, there were a lot to do and no one's to it. They could, when they got new people in, they had them in for about 2.5 weeks. Then the guy was, I don't want to do this again, and then he left. And of course, our first question was, how long time does it take to train a person to do this job? And they'll say, about 8 weeks. So with the employee turnover of 2.5 weeks and 8 weeks to learn them the job, and a not so attractive place to have a factory, they were in real trouble. So some of the things we often see is that we see the robot companies educating, Martin, the guy who's operating the robot, but who they don't educate is the 90 other people that is passing by the robot every day. And then it does something and they get scared, and the word is that the robot is going to kill them or something like that.
In my opinion, we can sum it up in almost 2 points we need to deliver to our customers. And those are safety and knowledge. Those are always the 2 fundamentals you really need if you invest money into something new. And automation is our daily business because we are the experts, but this is not their daily business. We go as a paid consulting services for sure. We go into the companies and we make a walk around on the shop floor. And after one day, after 8 hours, we show them a presentation. What are possible automation solutions in their company? Then we help them to calculate a return of invest. What are the main facts you need to focus on to get it? The third part is education, because education is always a point of safety. So we offer different trainings for robotic programming, PLC programming, for various manufacturers like Kuga, ABB, or Fanuc, or UR. So where we introduce the workers from our customers into the technology so that they know they can solve problems on their own.
At the end, something still has to do the work, right? And that's the technology. But I agree with the two, because at the end, for an end user, it shouldn't matter if you have a cobot or an industrial robot, or if you are using different robots of any type. The thing is, what do you want to achieve with them, and how can you simply achieve it? If you are able to use it, and you sustainably use it, not just for 1 year and then you throw it away, the investment, that's when you have the return which you were looking for.
Because every time an integrator says customization, and you have to go to your bank and tell them you're financing some customized, your
it's a
bank
new little
says,
project. Yeah, okay.
Merry Christmas. It's like getting a one-of-a-kind car financed. It's impossible, but if you buy a Mercedes C-Class, everyone will finance. So I think if the entire robot business would call it off-the-shelf solutions, even though it might not be, but really, we're working with a lot of financing operation companies in the UK and US, and they're so afraid every time you guys say customization. So if you don't, they'll finance it. I know it sounds weird, but that's the case. And if you can finance it, you can pay it.
You ask me how low can we go with the price?
So
that's the same thing an SME asks, but he knows how much is a C-Class from a Mercedes-Benz, he knows it, but he doesn't know how much is a robot, because we never have a price tag. You won't find any price tag from Kuga in the internet. So it comes up that someone calls you and says, I want a robot over here. It's just a robot, so I have about 15,000 euros.
So what we are seeing is actually that a lot of smaller businesses, especially around this area, are not finding people anymore who want to work in the night or who want to work at the weekends. So they have far less people available in the production side. And there's, again, more the fact of, okay, we have to start thinking about automation and robotics, but it's not about let's have no one work anymore there. It's more working in cooperation and making sure the robots are enabled to do their job.
Fewer people have to do the work.
And fewer,
the night shift,
That's a very good point, because I always mentioned this return of invest. That's get less important because one of the main drivers today is that there is no workforce anymore. And if we want to produce, we have to automate no matter of the cost.
But it has to look like easy access.
Okay.
Right? And comparison. Comparison is important. How do you compare, you know, that guy's product with that guy's product with that guy's product? So I feel that I'm at least getting what I think might be the best solution.
It's stop celebrating ourselves by the units of robots sold, but by the units of actually being used in an automated way.
Yeah.
We need modularization and standardization for that. And also on software side and hardware as an enabler. So we have to make sure to have a common understanding for robotics and automation way earlier in the education. So in schools and so on. And that's something we won't serve, we won't do as a company. So that's something somebody needs to focus on, and maybe it's you.